Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Ramakrishnan. You joined in your name Ramakrishnan only, right?
Yeah, I joined.
Yeah, right.
No, I changed now. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so that is why we were searching your name, and then we let everyone in, so will not be an issue. Welcome, Ramakrishnan. So other panel members, experts have joined with us. Muzammil, please start.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The galaxy of intellectuals, Your Excellency, invited guests, principals, faculty, and participants from various colleges. It gives me an immense pleasure to extend you a very warm welcome on behalf of the Department of Management Studies, the Ananda Sagar College of Engineering, who has clubbed all of us for the webinar on opportunities for MBA in Information Technology. I am Muzammil Ahmed, Assistant Professor, the Department of Management Studies, the Ananda Sagar College of Engineering. I would like to thank you all for finding time and visiting today's webinar. Now, I request our beloved HOD, the navigator of this flagship of knowledge, Dr. K.G. Hemalata, to address the participants and briefly present the agenda of this webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Muzammil. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Dr. K.G. Hemalata, Professor and Head of the Department of Management Studies, the Ananda Sagar College of Engineering. I am delighted to welcome you all to today's event, the Career Guidance Opportunities for MBA in Information Technology. For the those who are new to our department, there is a glimpse about details about our department. Department of Management Studies, the Ananda Sagar College of Engineering was started in 2006. Ours is an autonomous program affiliated to Vishweshwaraya Technological University and approved by AICTE. We have been using our autonomy in full swing in uploading our curriculum in tune with the industry requirements, changing pedagogy to the more of experiential learning, and providing new age specializations like business analytics, operations, information technology, along with the marketing, human resources, and finance, and more opportunity for industry interactions. Our students are undergoing 10 weeks internship program between second and third semesters, and 16 weeks problem study at the fourth semester. So we also provide ample opportunity to our management graduate to develop their business and technical acumen through communication labs, advanced Microsoft Excel lab, digital marketing lab, languages like R, Python. Students are empowered to develop their leadership and personality skills, like being part of the various clubs like Kotler Club for Marketing, Abraham Maslow's Club for Human Resource, Warren Buffett Club for Finance, Optra Club for Operations, and John Snow Club for Business Analytics, and Steve Jobs Club for Information Technology. Domain-specific newsletters like the CADO, the Midas Touch, the FinSign are evident to portray their skill sets and register their experiential learning with our department. Milana series is an alumni connect, happens on fortnightly basis to update on industry happenings and direct mentoring by alumni to our management graduates. We have venture labs to nurture budding entrepreneurs and handhold them with the help of IEDC, that is Entrepreneurship Development Cell, and incubation opportunity at Derby and Derby Foundation at Electronic City. The state-of-the-art infrastructure like facilities like digital library, amphitheater, auditoriums, gyms, and sports facilities are contributing to the overall well-being of the graduates. Not the least, the Ananda Sagar College of Engineering has been the leading the march in placement, and on average, 160 companies are visiting to our campus to recruit only management graduates. Our students are fetching the highest package till now 12 lakhs per annum. As on today, this year in 2021, our students got into the place of Intel Corporation with the 10 plus package. We are the number one under the affiliated and autonomous colleges in Karnataka in shaping the management graduates and ensuring their employability. We impart ethics, values in them, and we are producing responsible citizens. Our journey is always adhering to the Sustainable Development Goals, that is SDG of UN, United Nations. Our students are actively involved in Aims to Flourish project. It's a social oriented projects. We are preparing our students to face the real life situations. So this is about the glimpse of our department. Today's event focus on opportunity for our management graduates in information technology field. The information technology industry is experiencing a boom like never before, and more brands are looking to expand their area because of the immense amount of potential in that field. See, a lot of new terms and fields are coming up like a cloud computing, mobile apps, big data analytics, automation, artificial intelligence, smart technology, virtual reality, augmented reality, blockchain, rise data officers, quantum computing, smart technology, chatbots, and many more. So we are so curious to know that what is in it for our management graduates. What are the opportunity available for the management graduates so that we can update ourselves accordingly, develop our students to make them ready for the industry to face the world in a successful way. So recently, maybe 3 years before, we started providing a business analytical specializations. I think the highest package what our students got it in McAfee was 12 lakhs with a business analytics specializations. As we progress, like we want to benchmark ourselves, are we going and kind of benchmark ourselves and reinforce ourselves? Are we going in a right path or not? So for that, we are conducting a regular industry interface with industries. Our BOS members are from the industries and they are contributing and updating us our curriculum in that way. So here today we have lined up the experts from industry, Mr. Manish Agarwal, Chief Technology Officer, Digital Retail, Falabella, Mr. Balaji Sarangan, Lead Technical Program Manager, Tesco Stores Limited from UK, Mr. Ramakrishnan KJ, Manager Pre-Sales, Enterprise and Cloud Application from Accenture, Mr. Santosh Kumar TS, Vice President, Strategic Alliances, Claritas Tech Labs, and our alumni Mansoor Khan, KM, SAP CBO Consultant from Infosys. So I would like to welcome our eminent speakers of today who have responded quickly and coming forward to help us to for the budding managers amidst of their busy schedule. So I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Manish Agarwal, Chief Technology Officer, Digital Retail, Falabella. Welcome you, Mr. Manish.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here and interact with this.
Thank you. So Mr. Balaji Sarangan, Lead Technical Program Manager, Tesco Store Limited, UK. He will join within 10-15 minutes. Welcome you, Mr. Balaji. And Mr. Ramakrishnan KJ, Manager Pre-Sales, Enterprise and Cloud Application, Accenture. Welcome, Mr. Ramakrishnan. I welcome
Thank you.
Santosh Kumar TS, Vice President, Strategic Alliances, Claritas Tech Labs. Welcome, Mr. Santosh Kumar.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
And my dear alumni, Mr. Mansoor Khan, HM, SAP CBO Consultant, Infosys, on behalf of Department of Management Studies, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering. I welcome you all to today's great event. I extend a warm welcome to all the guests, faculty members from various colleges, students from various colleges, and our students, and each and every one of you. Hope we'll have a wonderful interaction and insights today. Over to Muzammil so that you can introduce the guest.
Thank you, ma'am. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please put them into the chat box and I will bring them up after the presentation. You will also have time for questions at the end. Now, without wasting any further ado, we will turn our time over to our first panelist, Mr. Manish Agarwal. Mr. Manish Agarwal is the Chief Technology Officer for the Digital Retail Wing of the Falabella Group. Mr. Agarwal joined Falabella in 2018 and played a vital role in setting up Falabella Technology Development Center in India. As a part of his initial responsibility, Manish was instrumental in growing the mobile e-commerce applications as well as building the e-commerce on-demand delivery platform for the groups of supermarkets business. In past 2 decades, Manish has been a part of several technology-led transformation programs in retail vertical for numerous global retailers. He has a strong drive to build teams and collaboratively deliver global operating models. Prior to his stint with Falabella, Manish has worked with companies like Target, Infosys, and GE. He has also co-founded 2 startups, connecting various aspects of customer experiences and enhancing its digital experiences is something that Manish is very passionate about. So over to you, Manish, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Muzammil. As I stand here, right, I think I started reflecting back a lot, right?
Yeah.
1999, so I did my my MBA, right? And I was in the same verge as today's students are, right? Of course, the things have changed drastically in 20 years, right? The pace and change, the opportunities, the amount of opportunities today you get is immense, right? At that time, we used to have a very narrow-minded focus of the domains we used to do MBA in, right? So if, for an example, if I'm a finance graduate, I'll honestly think about a couple of jobs which probably I can get, right? We were thinking in silos and not in a boundaryless way. But today, I think today, the way I see is that MBA provides a foundation, right? But post that, there are boundaryless opportunities for anyone to grow and kind of delve into based on their own interest area. You can pursue, right? To me what MBA gives is a wider thought process, a critical thinking, problem solving skills, some of the organization nuances what you need, because the way the rigor of case studies and the different problem solvings typically a student does in a 1 or 2 years of their this journey gives you that thought process ability, right? And that's where, apart from a domain knowledge of whatever area of specialization one take, you develop that thinking process, right? And that's what is important in terms of the leeway of what you can differentiate in the market, right? Of course, the domain in which you enter, there is always an expectation that you know that better, right? And that domain can connect to various fields, be it a technology, be it a health sector, be it, right? So if you're in a market specialization and you want to grow into a marketing field, you can do a marketing in technology area, in a digital area, in a health area, in a financial services area. It all depends on that, right? But the foundation is marketing. But today, that can be an entry point. But once you enter, you, based on your interest area, you can keep switching. Like I can talk about my own personal journey. I did specialization in supply chain and operations, did my job in supply chain for a couple of years, and technology was attracting me. I married technology of supply chain and operations with technology and joined an area where I said, hey, I can work on an ERP, which was a in thing at that point of time. I said, hey, I can do ERP and ERP can link to supply chain, right? And that's why I was marrying my domain knowledge with the technology. Joined as a consultant. From a consultant, start doing a lot of global delivery roles. And one point of time, got an opportunity to switch to e-commerce, right? And that's how the journey took and the foundations got built. So I think you all should not focus a lot into a long-term journey where it will take. You should focus on where your interest area lies and what foundation you need to build. If your foundation is strong, I think that's what and the foundation comes from what you can learn in first job. Today, I feel a lot of students I meet, a lot of people I interview focus a lot on short-term gain. They don't look at a long-term journey from what these short-term gains can do. They will look at, hey, where can I get more money? If I'm getting a 1 lakh higher, I'll look at your interest area, introspect yourself, what you want to do, which field you want to be in, and try to build a foundation on that. Career is not a 1-year journey, 2-year journey. It's a 25, 30, 35-year journey, right? And have that risk-taking appetite of what you can do. Like for me, I took a risk of starting 2 startups. I failed, but I failed from a perspective of what people call that they were not successful. But if I look at myself as an individual, I succeeded because I learned so much in that journey that today as an professional in my new role, I look forward to that learning and say, hey, I have now a more risk-taking ability. I have more a decision-making ability. Hey, I have, you know, a lot of fear of failures have gone in my mind. And that's what is the foundation you need to keep building in your career, and think about it, right? MBA can give you some start points in your role and say, hey, you know, I was engineer or I was a chartered accountant. Now I've done MBA. It's helped you in switching on certain roles and trying on different things, right? But don't forget, The foundation is in what attitude you bring to the table. Foundation is in what impact you are making that as an individual, right? A person who probably was an engineer, or probably 2 years back, if you would have started in the journey, you could have also taken the same journey. But this course is giving you a leeway to take a direction in the interest of area of your specialization and learn from it. So I'll probably, try to kind of take a pause here. But to me, the message is, this is just a start point of a journey. Many times after an MBA, we think I have conquered the world. No, this is just a start point of your journey. This is just a foundation of your learning. You will where your career will go, no one knows. But be honest with yourself in that interest area. This is my interest area. It doesn't matter if I get a 1 lakh lesser, because I'm looking at my long-term journey in terms of the career interest, what I want to do, and do that, right? And as Dr. Hemlata was saying today, it's a green pastures, right? But if you are interested in technology, one message I want to leave you with, and we'll talk more about it probably during the conversation. Don't be at a surface level. Try to understand technology, appreciate technology, maybe do some hands-on at the code, even if you're in a product role or a sales role, right? That's the important thing. Once you start going into nuances and details of that, you will shape up your career in much better way, because you will understand in depth, right? And I think I'll leave you with that. But let's talk more through it as we go along. But I'll try to leave you with that message. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have with us our next panelist, Mr. Santosh Kumar. Mr. Kumar is a senior professional with 18 years experience in IT with top MNC. He is rich in experience in handling computing, network visualization, and business continuity and DR solutions on cloud. His expertise includes direct channel sales, building alliances, channel development, and key account management, business development, and distribution. He has a good understanding of corporate and commercial markets, excellent working relationship with channel partners in Southwest and India and Sri Lanka. He has managed cloud services providers and has worked with major for India and global projects. A keen planner, strategist with rich experience in devising the sales and channels activities for improved business growth. He is an effective communicator with excellent relationship building and interpersonal skills. Strong analytical problem solving and presentations are and organizational abilities. Over to you, Santosh sir.
Thank you, Muzammil. I'll just share my screen. Just a sec. So you need to make me a host so that I can share the screen.
Yes, sir. You are the host now. You can share the screen.
So good afternoon, everyone, and thanks a lot for the opportunity. It's good to meet you all in this situation, in this kind of background environment. And I just thought I'll go the more traditional way of going with a PPT, where I can jot down my thoughts and then go through that, so that it will also be a reference point in future. So when I looked at the title, when the topic that was given to me this evening, I thought it's a more relevant and more to do with the current scenario. And it also shows the institution's interest in the students' future and wanting to provide more guidance to the student community. So I thought it's a good a topic to discuss upon. So I'll just jump into the presentation. So just a small introduction about where I come from. So I represent Claritas. I'm part of Claritas Tech Labs. And we are a global firm. We are present in 5 continents, and we've got 50 clients, 50 plus clients worldwide. We provide cross-platform solutions covering all the technology like Microsoft, full stack, artificial intelligence, chatbot, and cloud services like AWS and Azure. And we also provide managed services to our clients. So Just to give a small intro, our company, our business is based on 4 pillars. One is the product engineering, where we talk about we get involved in the product architecture, design, deployment, and product support, and also help the customers in the digital transformation part, where we try and enhance the business efficiency, and we do service management and DevOps and test automation as well. The last part, which is very close to our heart and also our founders, is the startup services. Okay, just a sec. Yeah. So what we do on the startup services is that we engage with the if someone coming to us with a business concept, we engage with them, try and do a brainstorming on the concept, try and see the viability, both the business viability and the market viability, do a devil's advocate role there. And once we identify and confirm the concept, then we work with the person and try and design the product, do a complete market research, and take it to the market. So what we also do is we engage with the venture capitalist, align them with the business owner, and ensure that he gets the required finances to do that. So on the long run, we engage with them, we partner with them, we handhold them till the product becomes sustainable in the market. So this is a small intro about what we do. 1 minute. So on today's agenda, this is how we are going to go: information technology and all this. So some of the points that I'm going to talk about, you may be fully aware of it. It's going to be kind of a refresher thing, which just to bring to the top of your mind. One is industry's dependency on IT. So we are talking about MBA in IT. So what is that IT is doing now? How are the industries are dependent on IT? How IT can enable the industry's performance? So that is, we'll touch upon a small bit about it. Let's look at the benefits of IT, and let's get into some numbers. I know there are some finance guys here, so I thought I'll also get on some numbers so that to make them interested. And the new normal, now the punch word is, or the terminology is new normal. So I'll also touch upon what is that new normal, what is the top technology trends in this new normal, and as MBA IT, what it can teach you, and a small differentiator. Now, a person who has already done his engineering or done his science graduacy, what is the difference? How we differentiate between a management graduate and a science or engineering graduate? And what are the roles you can aspire for, and how to jumpstart your career, and the kind of companies that look for hiring these people, and what kind of compensation you can look at. Okay, and the key takeaways from this session. So when I looked at the industry dependency on IT, I just listed down whatever industries that came to my mind. I almost covered all the industries that is listed here. That's why the slide looks a bit overpopulated. But I also have one more slide which again lists down the industries. So that is the number of industries I have listed and what IT does it, what the industry wants from IT. So if you look at e-commerce has been the lifeline for us in this pandemic situation, right? A lot of trouble, people are not able to come out. So e-commerce is the one which serves the customers now, serves the clients now, makes us feel live comfortably, at least within the premises of our house. So e-commerce, they have to cater to the changing demands of the market. So a lot of demands, it could be from the supplier, from the manufacturer, from the consumer, from the payment gateway stuff, from the logistics stuff. So they have a lot of demands, and it's very, very dynamic. So e-commerce, they have to cater to the changing demands and try and address the maximum potential that is possible. And if you look at automotive, and around 10 years back when we said automobile, that's separate. IT has nothing to do with automotive. But now if you look at IT helps them to innovate, create new designs, store those designs. And who would have thought even a couple of years back, if someone said, I'm buying a car online, no one would have believed it, right? But that has happened. So that has come to become true, right? So that is how IT is playing a role in that. And education, yes, online classes, online collaborative tools, and right to access to right information. Banking, again, if you look at internet banking, online money transfer, we all know that. But on the back end, there has to be a thing which connects the interbanking connectivity, which enables the interbanking connectivity so that thousands of branches can communicate with their HQ, can communicate with RBI, and take the necessary actions. And all this data has to be very, very confidential. Healthcare, again, they have to transition to the new technology. Now we are looking at telehealth, online doctor consulting, everything has become online. So if you look at insurance, earlier we used to have 3-4 bulky forms which we had to fill up, and then the guy takes it to his office, again does all the typing work into his system, and then by the time we get our insurance copy, it will be 1 week or 10 days. Now it's everything all. The guy comes there online, he fills up the details, and immediately by the time before he reaches his office, you get your insurance copy. Or better than that, just log in yourself, fill in all the details, pay the money, and get your insurance within 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Like, So hospitality, again, they have to provide ease of access to the customers, just to know what is the availability, what are the vacancies. It has to be smartphone compatible. If you look at the production industry, again, they have multiple locations. They have the big supply chains. They have to operate at a lower cost. Real estate, even though real estate is operated in an ad hoc manner, there are a lot of unorganized sectors available there, but information has to be easily accessible. You need to maintain contacts with the clients, streamline that marketing. Legal, again, any legal law that comes up, that has to be, whatever documents, it has to be stored for a considerable amount of time. So backup and recovery comes into picture. Non-profit organizations, they also have to have the latest technology, but they cannot have major budget. They have to do it in a limited budget. Agriculture, people have to, we are looking at improved production. You need to look at access to new farming technologies. You need to get better prices for their produce. Retail sector, as Mr. Manish touched upon, so it covers almost all the segments. You need to have maintain your inventory, improve your process efficiency, manage your stock, and most importantly, point of sale experience is really, really very, very crucial. Environment, even if you look at environment, you need to look at a database. You need to have a forest cover details, pollution control, wildlife population, everything. Supply chain, which is very, very critical nowadays. You should look at reducing your cost, improving your productivity, tracking the logistics, and less paperwork, and you need to be very, very competitive. And media, as usual, they are everywhere. So you need real-time news, you need live telecast, analysis of the old data, new data, present, what does the people public think on the present, everything. So analysis, collaboration is also very, very important. And entertainment, I think that actually helped us to take our mind from the pandemics and the sufferings. So you have live streaming, OTT content, online subscriptions, etc. Transport, again, you need to look at efficiency and ease of transport. Logistic, again, operational efficiency. Social media, which is a lifeline. I'm sure all the students, almost everyone has a smartphone in them, and they have a Facebook account, Twitter account. One person somewhere on the other side of the globe thinks something, he tweets it, and within seconds, the other person is able to read it and to give his opinion on it. So that is how the communication has grown. So anytime, anywhere, communication is very, very important. But most importantly, what I wanted to stress here is all these industries, the core of these industries need resources with knowledge on IT. That is the most important part of it, right? So you would have had an idea about how important is, how important an IT role is. What are the opportunities in IT? Any industry you take, if you are an IT person, you have an opportunity. Benefits of IT, I know all you guys know it. Only a couple of points I'll talk about it. This is addressing the requirements across the industries. Okay, that is more important. Any industry you take, you can address the requirements with the help of IT. Then the process is automated. Then you can improve your financial management. And most importantly, you can adapt to new technology, and it helps a big time on globalization. Okay. So as I told you, I said I'll talk about some numbers. So for those who are interested in numbers, have a look at it. The National Association of Software and Service, which is NASSCOM, it's saying that no, the IT industry is expected to report a revenue of 194 billion. This is an Indian figure at a growth rate of 2.3% year on year. And last year, when everyone said we are losing jobs, people are suffering, 138,000 new hires were made by the IT industry. It accounts for 8% of India's GDP and 52% share in service exports. IT sector also saw a 14% sequential growth. For when I say sequential growth, it is from April 2021 to May 2021. And IT sector continues to be a new era of skilled talent. 96,000 jobs are expected, roles are expected to be filled in this current financial year. And it is also upscaling its existing employees, which is 2.5 lakh, and newly acquiring fresh talent, which is 40,000, which is very, very good. And by the time you graduate and come out of your college, the IT sector will be hitting a 300 to 350 billion dollar revenue by 2025, which is real good, right? So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of income involved in this. So let me touch upon the new normal. Now that is the punch word everywhere. Anything you take, it's a new normal, they call it. So remote working has become a new normal now. Online learning, telehealth and online counseling, contactless convenience. You don't need to go and handle cash because the pandemic, the virus also spread through cash, right? So contactless convenience. Then AI generated content, artificial intelligence. So it analyzes the data, it analyzes the practice, the methodology, everything, and the content that it gives is very, very validated. E-commerce is already touched upon, very, very viable, very, very helpful for us to live in this pandemic. And the process is automatic, and the connectivity. People have gone to the remote places, to gone through the natives, but still they are able to work. They are able to develop software. They are able to support customers even because of this enhanced connectivity. So now let's look upon what your MBA IT is going to teach you. Of course, you will have your curriculum, you'll have your syllabus, everything shared by Dr. Hemlata and team. But just to, on an overview, if you have to look at it, you can communicate with other disciplines within the business. Because you are from a different background, you have domain knowledge available with you, you have business knowledge available with you, you can effectively communicate with other disciplines within the business. It teaches you business and analytical skills. And most importantly, your academic background, whatever is your background, you can be a finance guy, you can be a science guy, or you can be a commerce guy, economics, or engineering. It helps you to channelize your academic background towards IT. That is the most important thing about this course. Okay, and provides equal footing with C-level executives. In the sense, C-level means CTOs, CEOs, CDOs, and all this. So you get equal attention, you get increased attention. Whatever you're going to talk in a meeting, people give you weightage. You get to move with them, so you understand their thought process as well. So just a small differentiation, nothing to point anything about anyone, but primarily if you look at what is a primary management graduate, how is he different from an engineering graduate or any other streams, right? So primarily if you look at management graduates, they are more business oriented. Okay, of course, engineering and other teams, they are more technical oriented. Management graduates can step into senior and middle management positions. Engineering has to step into middle management, then grow from there. Management they can be placed in IT department and IT management. But if you are technical, pure hardcore engineering guy, primarily gets into an IT department. And you are domain experts, you have varied knowledge about domains. There, they are primarily from engineering and taking a technical background. On the leadership levels, you can get into highest levels of leadership. Even there, with an engineering degree, you can still get there, but it'll have to put in some more years of experience before you get there. And management guy gets a cross-disciplinary exposure, whereas the engineering technical guy gets mainstream exposure. See, again, I'm repeating, it's not to compare or belittle one against the another. It is just the overall picture, how you are presented in a management scenario, how you are presented in an employment scenario. That's what I'm trying to touch upon in this, right? So then focus on achieving your business goals. Focus more where the management guy gets to focus more on the business goals. The other person gets to reflect more on the IT operations. His job is to get the IT up and running. Okay, so this is the most demand. What is the kind of roles that a management guy can look upon? That is most important, right? So I've listed a lot of roles here. So it can be a business analyst, it can be a team leader, it can be a global account manager, or you can be an infrastructure manager, or you can be a financial man. If you are from a financial background, you have done MBA IT, then you will be looked upon for IT financial management. So the best thing here is you're not leaving your core area of strength. You are not leaving your core area of expertise. You are trying to marry these two, IT and finance skills, and you are getting into IT financial management, which is really very good. Those opportunities were not available a decade ago or something like that. So there, and if you look at now, data scientists, business analysts, these are the things which people more sort out because data is wealth now. So they need a person who can analyze all those wealth, who can go through all the data available and synchronize and get the content out of it, and the business can take action based on that. So you need to now jumpstart your career. What I can do after I complete my college, I come out, what should I be doing? So I'm saying the most important thing is when you are in college itself, in addition to the curriculums, you try and learn more. Go through the website content, go to a lot of videos are available on subjects, go through them, take notes, interact with industry people. Wherever you get an opportunity, when you're during your industry visit or wherever you get an opportunity, try and interact with those industry people, pick their brains and understand better. And when you have time, also look at getting the right certifications. A lot of certifications available. There are a lot of free certifications available. A lot of paid certifications are available. They are offered by companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Oracle, Google, which was very, very valuable. So when you go for an interview and you're placed in a platter, these certifications will give you an additional bonus points. Okay, so that is more important. And build your profile. You would do a lot of trainings. There are a lot of, as Ms. Manish pointed out, there are lot of trainings available. So go through that, try and do yourself, play with the apps available and get information from that. When you are building your resume, build your profile, describe the projects, what you have done, what you have what are the trainings you have gone through, and get reputable references. It could be from your professors, mentors, supervisors, and colleagues. So when I say colleague, what I mean is it could be your batchmate, it could be a senior, or even it could be a junior. They could have some connection with the industry people. Their relative, someone would be working in the industry somewhere. Try and align with them, to get information. So build a network. LinkedIn is a very good platform for that. Build a network where you can connect with people and reach out to people, understand what they want to communicate, what they are posting. And hands-on experience is definitely important. Most importantly for any student, this is personally from my experience as well. I'm sure it is from other panelist experience as well. Determination. Okay, rejection is part of life. Definitely, you will definitely face rejection. There's no escaping out of that. But you learn from it. Okay, so there are people who have come up in life having failed some dozen times and then becoming more successful in their life. That is possible. So don't take things to your heart. Rejection is part of life. Immerse yourself and practice. That is one of the most important traits which you have to do. Now the good news is, if you look at the companies I've listed, no, I didn't have space. I think probably I can list companies for another 5 slides. The companies that are hiring, top IT companies. List everything: Google, IBM, Cisco, Oracle, Microsoft, Amazon, anything. Okay, you have opportunities there. These companies are hiring. You have job opportunities there. I'm sure when you're planning your career, you have to look at the long term. But immediate anxiety, immediate apprehension is, okay, after this what? Whether I'll get a job. I need to support my family now. Whether I'll get a job. Yes, opportunity is available for getting a job. This actually, I've put in the figures. These are indicative figures taken from valid websites, but just to motivate for those who are looking at what is the pay scale that I may get. Okay, MBA graduates. Okay, if you look at from the normal graduacy, if you look at, they easily get 1.5 to 2 times higher salaries. Okay, a fresher gets 7 lakhs, team leader. I've listed out the values. These figures may not be a sacrosanct figures, but if you look at, the industry is willing to pay for the right candidate with the right skill set and what is the knowledge and value add that is bringing to the table. So equip yourself well and you will definitely get paid well. Okay. So as I told you, just to summarize, IT is here to stay. It is the present, it is the future. And if you are looking at a career in IT, this is the right time to start. Make a start now, today. Okay. So that is what I want to leave with. So if the opportunities are definitely available. If you have the right skill set, you will land on the right job. Okay. So that is what. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. I hope the the details are useful to you. And anytime anything is required, just reach out to us. All the best.
Thank you, sir. We have with us our next panelist, Mr. Ramakrishnan. After completing his master's in business administration with specialized...
Muzammil,
Yes,
I will take that because I wanted to start with the
Okay.
story of my experience. That will be very relevant for the audience. Is that
Sure.
okay, right?
Sure.
I
Yeah, that's fine.
sorry
Absolutely
to
fine.
interrupt you.
Sure.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
thanks, guys. So the reason I stopped Muzammil, introducing myself is because I understand you're all for MBA graduates and with a specialization in system and marketing specialization, and I also come from a similar background, and I just wanted to tell how I scaled up and what are the different roles I played in my career, and how I scaled up until what I'm doing currently. Probably that might interest you. That's why I stopped Muzammil. So sorry about that. Okay, so I started with as a salesperson. I'm a highly sales oriented person. So I started selling. Uh, I would call a box selling in 2000, 2001 when I graduated as an MBA from Madurai Kamraj University. So those were the application. Those were the box selling, but typical, not a typical box selling, but those were selling with application. For example, today you see an and a handle terminal in hotels, in inventory, bus, electricity board. So there is an application which is built, and that's how the automated data capturing was industry was evolving. So I started selling that, and I used to build application. When I say build application, I'm not a technical technocrat, code, but I used to innovate application, talk to the business user, hard code users on the ground, understand their problem, and suggest the development team, these are the innovation which we can do it, we can build this, then we can sell it. So it was a box selling plus an application selling. So that's how I got introduced to information technology, and that's where I got introduced to SAP and Oracle also. Then I got interest in working with a large scale ERP, where I started my career in 2004 after certification in SAP sales and distribution. Started as a consultant, did my sales and distribution for some of the global customer. You can take it starting from Philips Consumer Business, Johnson Johnson. You can take Unilever, Procter and Gamble, Del Monte, PNG. I don't think I would have missed at least the top 5, 6 of the major consumer brands, doing some consulting work for them. So that's how that's where I put my solid base for understanding of the technology, understanding of the business on the ground. See, unless you understand the business, unless you know the technology and you know the business, you'll not be able to appreciate what the technology can bring into your table, the value addition which can bring it to it. So those are my golden years, I would say, 2004 to 2010. 2004 to 2010, where I I I did consulting. I traveled, I would say, almost, I touched upon all continents except for South Africa, I would say, some countries in Europe, US, and Asia Pac, the side. So that was one part of a career where, you are in a delivery role where you do a consulting, you work for a customer. And then I moved into a project management role where, I started managing projects where, the enterprise solutions are rolled out to customers. For example, if tomorrow Philips in US wanted to have their enterprise application replaced from legacy into SAP, then we manage a program, we drive a program end to end, starting from your planning, business blueprinting, your cutover, your training, etc. So I started managing those phases and started managing a team. That I did about for 5 years, and then I scaled up into to a different role. I switched into a different role in 2015, where I started selling this applications. So when I say started selling, or doing a pre-sales work, all these first 15 years which I told, it's all about talking to customer, giving them consulting work, delivering a project. But this current role which I'm doing is, I go out to the reach out to the different organization, different customer, and position our solution, position our products, position, and say that we win the project, we work on a deals, large deals. When I'm talking about deals, I typically work on a deals worth 5 to 25 million deals. When I say deals, it's all competitive deals. You'll have all the competitors in the market, say Accenture, IBM, your PwC, your EY. Everyone will be bidding for that project. And my role here in Accenture is to do solution that solution the requirement for the customer, uh, in terms of commercial, in terms of staffing, in terms of value addition, in terms of differentiator tools. Everything we'll have to put in the table, package it, sell it to the customer. Customer may or may not shortlist our proposal, and then they will offer the project, and then we give it to the delivery team uh, for execution of the project. So the reason I told my story is, I scaled up from from starting as a salesperson doing box sales, then did a consulting, then I did a project management, then I'm today into pre-sales. So this is a typical, I would say, I was kind of fortunate to every 4 or 5 years, I started changing roles, because you can't be, as a management graduate, you can't be always on a delivery side working for a customer. That is something which will not interest you. Probably for the technical graduates, the B, or the people who code, they can work for a customer, they also switch to customer, but they predominantly will remain in the delivery side of it, not on the commercial side of it. Let me share my screen. That's of my introduction. Please post your question. Let me know when you are able to see my screen. You're able to see my screen?
Not it. Muzammil, make him as a co-host.
No, sir, we are not able to see your screen. Should I make you the co-host, sir?
Yeah, please,
Yeah, make
please.
it.
Yeah.
So I've made you the co-host. You can start presenting.
Yeah, I think you are able to see my screen now, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I picked up some relevance today. What I would, as a, if I'm sitting at your place, what we should focus, what is relevant today in the market. When I said, I work on a deals for competitive deals for customers. Probably I would have touched all this technology. See, I don't have to be necessarily to be a master in all this technology, but you should fundamentally understand to sell what is required. That experience you will get only when you start as a consultant, do a project manager delivery role. Then only you will understand what requires to sell this in a competitive world. Okay, so I come from SAP background, but I can sell Salesforce, Oracle, or your cloud computing, Microsoft, or automation tools. We get SMEs to do that, so some of the technical design work, but overall package, as an MBA graduate, when you go into a pre-sales or sales role, you should be able to do it. So my request to you would, for you to to focus on the course. You'll have to decide which way you would like to go. If you are looking at an enterprise solution, I hope you understand what is an enterprise solution, right? Enterprise solution is nothing but IT framework which runs your entire organizational functions, like your sales and distribution, your logistics, your finance, your procurement, your HR, your payroll. Everything is run on that. Today SAP has got everything bundled. Every functionality of your organization can be run in SAP, either on premises or on cloud. You can run it. Uh, they have mastered the mastered the ways of working of different organizational functions, and they have everything. But if you look at Salesforce, it is predominantly on a sales side. You're managing your customer, managing your marketing, managing your what do you call distribution channels, things like that. It's purely sales oriented. This is also coming up. You can I don't know if you have a course on this or something like that. I would say this is hot cake today in the market. Salesforce, SFDC we call it as. If you look at all these companies, even from Accenture point of view, we use for internal sales purpose. For example, for the deals which I work, I create an opportunity in Salesforce only today. I do a revenue recognition in Salesforce. I do a revenue split for different towers in the Salesforce. So a lot of activities we do it. Probably you should also look it. Or there are a lot of literature is there, and there are a lot of courses available in Bangalore itself today. You can approach them. This is something which can be a stepping stone for you. On the other hand, Oracle. Oh, sorry. Oracle, it used to be, I'm at least, last 3-4 years, I've not sold anything on Oracle platform side, because Oracle is majorly today dominated by either SAP, Salesforce, or your any other Microsoft Navision ERP, things like that. But Oracle, once upon a time, it used to be a finance market leader. They used to run their whole Oracle Finance used to run their entire finance structure in for an organization. But today, I don't see much. Probably, if you're looking at, I would say you should give a least priority for it. If you're looking at in a functional role, if you're looking at a technical side, Oracle database and all still hot in the market, but not on the functional side. At least I have not seen any customer asking going for Oracle. But some markets like the Middle East and all, the government companies and all, still they do operate on Oracle financials, Oracle manufacturing shoots, etc. But eventually they will also get replaced. The other thing I would say today relevant is your cloud computing. This is again a very hot. Again, I hope I'm talking to an MBA grads who are marketing and system analysts. Uh, Try to understand this the product structure, the product line they bring in, the values they bring into the table. You don't have to get into deep dive into the technical architecture of security, networking, your high availability, your disaster recovery, things like that, but you should understand one of this. It's selling like a hot cake, especially last 2-3 years after those are the days where typically when you set up an organization, we used to buy servers, set up racks, build a database, everything we used to do it on our premises. Nowadays it's a shared world. If I have to set up an organization, I probably share some space with Microsoft Azure. That's what companies also want to see, because you don't have to spend too much on your capital budget, your maintenance, things like that. Any day, if you don't want to use, say for example, tomorrow Unilever says, no, I want to close my business. That will not happen. But for example, if they want to close, they don't have to worry about their all $1 million infrastructure in their backyard. They have to do, cancel the contract and walk away, and go with their briefcase. So this is hot selling. I would highly recommend you focus on these technology. You don't have to be tech savvy in all the three. You can pick up one. I would rate Microsoft Azure is the market leader is going, but Google is also catching up. You will find a lot of roles for marketing people in pre-sales area, customer service area, account handling area, where as a fresher you can there'll be some rules, but you should understand what these products are all about, because since you come from a marketing and IT background, you want to build your career on IT. I would say pick up either an enterprise solution or cloud computing. One of these you can't master in both in the beginning itself. Over the period of time, 15 16 years, you'll come to know everything, but pick up one of this. Automation, this is also hot cake, but this is more for a technical people, I would call this Internet of Things, DevOps, and robotic process automation. You probably you can sell it. These are the applications, these are the concepts. You can sell it as an MBA grad, you should know, but I don't think there's much on technical side. At least I have not sold anything except for the DevOps and robotic process automation for some customer on the how they manage their the customer service, etc. I can talk about SAP in detail about the functional model, how it is there, but that'll take a lot of time. But my bottom line, what I'm trying to say is pick up either enterprise solution or cloud computing. One of this, being an MBA, if you want to build your career in IT sales, as previous speaker Shantosh and others said that this is going to stay here at least for next couple of years, and you cannot lag behind unless you can't go into job market without knowing one of these skills. At least you'll have to spend some time beyond your college hours in getting some certification or something like that. Then only you can get into the job market. Okay. The other interesting one, see, again, I'm talking all based on my experience. My the experience of about 19 20 years which I bring into the table. So this, I want to talk about the roles you might get in the organization. See, there are three kind of organization you can look at least from my point of view. One is the industry. I would categorize these are the hardcore industries where they manufacture or they provide service, something like that. I listed some customer names because these are the customers which I worked. I worked as a business analyst. I worked as the business partner, not as a process owner. So if you go to the industry, these are the predominantly these three roles you will get it: business analyst, IT business partner, business process owner. Designations might be different. Don't get into designation. These are the roles. Manager, senior manager, director, VP, and all. They will be doing this one of these roles only. But predominantly what they, as a business analyst, they will do is they business analyst they will pick one of the functional areas in the organization. Say for example, finance. They will master the finance end to end, starting from your general ledger, your accounts payable, receivables, your capital budget, your month end closing, etc. And they will provide a the what you call their point of view or the technology point of view to the business end users in improving their efficiency. So this is a very key role, highly paid role. If you walk into business analyst role in Unilever, Philips, or Johnson & Johnson, with some 1 or 2 years of experience, I can guarantee you'll get you'll get a nice salary, and also you'll be in a right career path. Then the second one is the IT business partner. This is a very critical role. This again, they play a key role between your technology partner and the business functional. Say for example, if I'm managing a shop floor and I'm a shop floor manager, I know only how my machines works, how my different machines work, and your conveyor belt works, but I don't know anything on the IT part of it. So this IT business partner will play a role of critical role of interfacing between your shop floor guy and the technology partner. So he'll know the business function, and he'll also know the technology side of it. When I say technology, uh, it's not a very high-fi, it's a simple, in SAP terms, how your business process can be improved using SAP for the shop floor. So this guy will will be playing a key role in business, improving the efficiency at the shop floor, or your procurement area, your sales area, things like that. But you'll have to be in a business analyst for some time, then you grow to that level. Then the other is this is the business process owner. This probably, it's a VP level role, I would say, director level role, where the entire the business process, like for example your sales and distribution process or manufacturing process, this guy will own it end to end. Anything on technology side, if you want to change it, you have to get approval from him. He will own the each step of the process in the organization. It cannot go anything, you can't introduce any new changes, any new technology or anything without this signature, I would call in layman's term. But it will take a lot of time. But yeah, this is how you scale up in industry. So you understand, right? When I say industry, uh, it can be your retail industry, your manufacturing, your consumer, automobile, anything. You will find these three roles. There are different ways of getting into this. We will talk in the next slide how you know we can get there, and what is the plus or minus of being in this.
Ramya, have a control over audio.
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead, Ramkrishna.
Okay, I got muted. So the next is the product based IT organization. So when I say product based IT organization, the organization which develops your product, like SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, AWS, Google, you will not see anything. Unfortunately, we don't have any product developed in India so far, which is globally acceptable today. But if all the names which you are saying today, seeing in this slide, are the products which either served by different IT organization. But there are, you can look at some career in this organization directly. These are a very, very highly paying organization. You get a very challenging roles. You get to travel. You get to meet a lot of industry people, and you will be definitely, because all your latest upgrades and latest business functionality and all will come from this product organization, and will go down to the service based organization, then into industry. The top one are all, your, I would call, enterprise solutions, SAP, Oracle and all. Then the HP, Dell, Epson, and all, they are into manufacturing your hardwares, like printers, servers, things like that. Nowadays nobody buys servers, racks and all that. Those are consumed by your cloud hyperscale partners. And nowadays, any organization, if I want to set up any organization, I will not buy HP server, put up a rack, get a network administrator. All I have to do is I'll sign up, go to amazon.com, I'll sign up, or azure.com, and sign up for some subscription, and I'll start using their servers. So you can look at some of the roles, some of the roles, the product owner, your pre-sale, solution advisor, industry expert. But one thing, you'll have to be very strong in, how the the product development happens. There is a different, there is a chapter, or there is a, what do you call, a specialization in, product life cycle itself. I don't know if you have a syllabus in your this thing. I think if it is not there, you should focus on it. There is a syllabus for, IT product management.
Yeah,
If you want to, you have. Okay.
we have it. Yeah,
Okay,
marketing
so
of technology product and innovation management. We have that PLC for
PLC.
IT products.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So there is a different life cycle. It goes through when you work on these organizations. Again, please try to understand. I'm not trying to talk on, technical point of view, or the developers point of view. I'm talking from a management graduates point of view, what they can play a role. They can play a role, as a product owner, not in a big organization like an SAP, Oracle and all, but even in SAP Oracle also, you'll have a product owners. There'll be multiple product owners, by functionality wise. For example, if you look at sales and distribution, there will be at least 10 different product owners. One will be specialized in your billing, one will be specialized in your promotion, one will be specialized in your taxes, things like that. How IT will evolve there. So each one will be the product owner. So you will be able to reach to that position only when you have some amount of specialization. So aim for that. And then Agile Scrum Manager, these are nothing but your typical project manager who manages your people, who manages phases, take care of the risks, take care of the deliverables, take care of the project budget, etc. This is also very interesting in product-based organization, because these days it's all hybrid agile, or probably full agile based delivery mechanism is there. So at least I have not worked there, but we have sold that solution. So it sounds interesting, but I don't have any hands-on experience. But you can also get some training on Scrum and Agile. This is also very hot in the market today. From management perspective, this is also I would say it's a hot cake in my opinion. This is all the new dimensional products. Then you have this role of pre-sales and sales. This the one which I do it. Once the product is ready, it's ready for market, and when a customer will not come and say, give me two modules of SAP Oracle, or sorry, SAP functional modules, or two people of this. He will come with I would say a problem statement. Mostly he'll come with a problem statement. Then you'll have to identify how the problem statement can be fixed using your technology, your skills. So that's what I do it, because the deal which I get it, the customer will not directly come and say, these are the bill of material I require, pack me, put it in a box and give it to me. He will say that, I want to roll out SAP functionality in this market, tell me how to do it. So then, then I will solution it. I will say, what it takes to do it, what are the steps it require, what kind of staffing is required, what are the risks are there, how much cost is involved, what is the return on investment is there. This all will say, for example, I solution a project for say about 5 million, but if there is no return on investment, there is then probably the COI, or you will not be able to sell it. So you'll have to build a strong business case to sell that. So these are the activities which, as a pre-sales consultant, we will do it. So here the takeaway is, focus on uh, how the business cases are built, your capital budgets are made. I'm sure there are chapters in your finance area, and I think you should also focus how these are return on investments is calculated over the period of time. That there are some chapters I know, at least vaguely I remember I've studied. Solution advisors, similarly, it's a more from a technical focus. Uh, uh, in the sense, they will be managing a group of clients, and they will advise, proactively go and advise the customer, okay, these are the steps you are doing today in your sales functionality, finance functionality, this is not yielding an efficiency. You can do this way, that way, like your Six Sigma process, or your in SAP itself, the different functionality if you introduce, this is what you will get it. So those kind of advisory role, they will do it proactively before the customer asks. If, for example, SAP has got a relationship with Philips, Unilever, they must be running hundreds of processes. If there is any new product is introduced in the market by one of these, then this solution advisors will go proactively to the customer. Then they'll say, okay, these are what it's being done at your place, and this is what we have. This is how you can improve your efficiency. This is how you can improve your bottom line, your staffing. At the end of the day, the customer also has to satisfy his customer, so within his organization, and also his external customer. So solution advisor is a more of a proactive role. It's not a I would say it's a pre-sales or sales role. It's a more of a proactive role. This also, it's a very interesting and a product-based organization. You'll find these roles in service-based IT organization also. We call it as a go-to-market. Um, Here we call it as solution advisor. Then you have industry expert. This is a very premium role. This is a very senior roles where, for example, when the product is developed, I'll take the example of SAP itself. If there is a functionality is getting developed for oil and gas industry, so a customer is asking something, but in the organization you may not find expert in oil and gas industry. So as an industry expert, you can guide, from your background experience, this is what, functionality should look like, and you can give the requirement for the team to build. So these are, I would say, it's a very premium role, and very very highly paid, but it'll take a lot of time. At least you have to put some significant amount of experience in one industry. See, the what you are seeing in a blue color box, you be an IT business partner for 5 6 years, or probably for 10 years. You understand some one industry completely, then you can become an industry expert. You can't become industry expert directly, because this comes with an experience, and you'll have to be, your shop floor, you'll have to be in the market, you'll have to be in, I don't know what are the things you'll have to be, then only you'll have to become, we can become industry expert. The last one is the favorite one, which I represented, service based IT organization. You can see Accenture, PwC, Deloitte, CG, IBM, EY. Then IPPs are Indian pure plays, TCS, Infosys, Wipro. uh, I will come to the next slide. I'll talk about that. But the typical roles here is the business analyst. Again, I'm starting with business analyst because we are talking only the MBA and MBA grad. So MBA in any of this organization, you will be hired as a business analyst only, because I assume that you will not have any experience of being a part of a development team where you can do a coding, etc. So you will be hired as a business analyst, functional consultant, and then scale up to project manager, program manager, then get into pre-sales. Then after that, over the period of time, then you will be leading a account. Say, for example, client account lead. They will be responsible for end-to-end. For example, from Accenture, if I'm managing end-to-end Philips account. So I will be responsible for anything on the customer side in terms of delivery, profit and loss, escalations, any new business, everything. So this is also, again, I would say, a director or VP level role. And here, that's a very very premium role. You'll have to put a lot of experience until you reach here. Then again, we'll have industry expert also here. But here also we require industry expert from us, solutioning perspective. For example, 2 months back, I was doing a solutioning for a oil and gas industry in Germany based oil and gas. So there was some functionality which customers were asking, though I was not experienced in that. Then we have to get some industry expert, get their guidance. Sometimes it helps, selling our solution to the customer also. When customer sees, okay, this guys comes with the background of a lot of industry experts, it's easy to sell also. So these are the different see, this is what you will see. Yeah, when you go out of the market, you will see either industry or product based IT organization or service based IT organization. Anything other than that, I cannot imagine. Different options, what options we have. Again, guys, this is purely based on my experience. I put some you know you can call this blue box as a different levers what you will be looking at when you go to the market for a job. In terms of opportunity, salary growth, overseas assignments, etc. Typically, as an MBA graduate fresh out of the college, you might look one of this. So I did some comparison based on my experience with I worked with Indian pure play, and I worked with my MNCs. I worked overseas also, and I worked in different roles which I showed you earlier. Based on my experience, I put the easiest one to get is, as far as when you're in India, it is easiest to get is either in the industry side. uh, Opportunities will be limited for freshers, but there will be tough competition. Probably you might have some campus recruitment. I'm not sure, but this, if you look at this service-based organization, you will definitely have entry-level positions. You'll have a mass hiring. TCS, you take Wipro, you take it. Accenture also, Capgemini, Cognizant. They will be hiring at a very huge numbers. Uh, I would say, you should participate in those things. See, only drawback in this campus hirings are, uh, I was not hired in campus hiring, but most I have seen, a lot of people, especially the Indian pay, they hire for some reason, and they deploy it in some other roles, which sometimes it is disheartening. An engineering graduate doing a job which is not relevant to his experience or his educational capabilities. So those are some drawbacks of it. But if you want to get into a job, focus on service, IT services, Indian pure play, and MNCs also will get it. But if you want to spend, but but over the period of time, you should try to go towards industry. Yeah? That's what, it's a long time growth, I would say, but there will be a lot of challenge. You'll have a profit and loss responsibility. You'll grow faster when you reach a level, and then that's where you can show your significant impact in the organization. See, this IT organization and all, right? It's you will be more like a commodity. You will be hired and you will be sold to a customer, and you will be billed. That's a flip side of being working in a services side. You will be hired. They will train you in some technology. They will train you in some functionality, and they'll put you under some customer place, and probably you'll be making money for them, and at the same time you'll also earn, and you'll also see places. But only my advice, when you get into the services IT, don't get staggered in service industry, because over the period of time, after 5 6 years, you will not enjoy that. You'll have to scale up. You'll have to move to a different role, different challenges. Then only you will start appreciating your value, what you are bringing into the table. Otherwise, it's going to be a monotonous work. You go through this slide. I My recommendation would start with the uh, services, because that's the easiest one. Immediately after your graduation, you will get a job, but don't stick there. Look for opportunity, learn there, make use of those opportunity, and see that you either move to industry or product based IT, where the challenges are high. Your pay in salary wise, it is very good, and there are a lot of opportunities to show your skills and your key impact areas. Otherwise, I don't think services side, it's a you will get it, but it's highly crowded. I It's highly crowded, and you'll have a tough competition as you grow, one step from the other. Not everyone will get the premium roles, etc. uh, yeah, you can look at this. But if you're looking at overseas assignment, I would say you definitely look at your IPPs, because the Indian pure plays, they will give long term opportunities. You'll have an opportunity for settlement abroad. That's only the brownie point I see in Indian pure play. Otherwise, from learning point of view, or career growth point of view, you might get designations, but you might do the same kind of role. You might get over the period of time, you'll be doing the same thing, but different designation, but nothing much. So have a look at it. This is based on my experience. It'll give a fair idea, what you should look out, and just validate with your peers, or your staffs as well. This is purely based on my experience I have put here. Okay, the last one. Now, this is again purely my some tidbits with my experience. The one thing you should always focus is, the day you step in industry or in organization, you have to focus, be relevant, because if you get into a crowd, if you're not relevant, then yeah, when you're out of focus, then nobody's going to look at it. You're not going to get opportunity for either overseas customer facing role, or then next role, things like that. And try to create some visibility. Yeah? But, I mean, when I say visibility, it is not within your organization, say your supervisor or manager or senior manager. It should be beyond that. If you're not creating any stakeholder connect with within the organization, with when you create a core impact or visibility, then you are wasting your time, in my opinion. You must have a visibility at a vertical head level, or I would say to some extent to CEO level also. It's the same, like in your college, if you're visible within your classroom, nobody is going to look at it. In at least I would say, not even HOD, you should be visible at university level, or your college level. Then only people will know you. You will have your own what do you call individuality or identification. Okay, this guy is capable of doing this, we can approach for him. But you'll have to do it. You go to an organization as a fresher, they will expect you to do work, and they'll be happy, but at the end of the day, you're not going to gain anything. You'll have to identify some core areas relevant to that the organizations, create some impact, and see that you are visible within the organization wide, and not it's not easy, but you should aim for it. Being an IT industry, I would say, always explore option for moving overseas, because overseas gives a better life, work-life balance, better career growth, better salary, and quality of life is also good. As I said in my first slide, we in India, we have not, build any product as on today. We are all a service-based organization. So when it's a service-based organization, you are a commodity only. If you want to experience a real IT role, with roles and responsibility, you want to have a better life, always explore options of going, uh, going abroad, especially European countries or US. Nowadays it's slightly becoming difficult, but when you get a chance, you should not leave it. If you're in a different sector, non-IT sector, if you're a government or your industry side, probably that's a different. But if you're an IT sector, I would say when it is a time, you should always explore your option. The point which stay healthy, it's not physical. I'm talking about the finance one. In case if you want to do an entrepreneurship, take some risk in mid career, you want to you have some problem with the organization. If you want to resign overnight, satisfy your anything, then make sure that at any point of time you have enough funds in your bank account to take care of you for at least 2-3 years or 3 to 4 years. Then you can take some chances, you can do what you like, because if you don't build that, you probably you will never be able to do what you like. That's taken away. If you start living it year on year or month on month salary, take it from me, you will not live your life. So try building that. That's if you have that, then you risk capability, and what you want to do in life, you will be able to do it. It's like a that's okay. This is again from my experience. I'm talking again. The last one is take risk. Don't worry about failing. Everybody has seen failure. I've seen multiple failures. Sometimes it's disheartens, but I would say take it in the right spirit and move on. I would call it as a badge of honor, in my opinion. Yeah, I think I covered what I wanted to talk. Predominantly, the bottom line I'm trying to say is, stay relevant. These are the ones which you should focus. The reason I'm saying once again is because I deal with in day out, except for Oracle, the rest of the things, the 10 deals which I get in my email box, it'll be 50% on SAP or 50% in the cloud computing. That's where the customer is also going towards, because that brings a lot of that's address a lot of pain point. If you move to cloud computing for customer, return of investment is also good. So focus on it. And yeah, if there's any doubts, questions, happy to take. That's it, ma'am.
Thank you, Ramakrishnan. I welcome Balaji Sarangan to our panel. On behalf of Department of Management Studies, the Ananda Sagar College of Engineering, I welcome Mr. Balaji Sarangan, Lead Technical Program Manager, Tesco Stores Limited, Hertfordshire, UK. Welcome, Balaji.
Hi, Hema.
Yeah. You can, I think, since you have joined in the right time, you can start your inputs for our students.
Sure.
Yeah, introduction by Muzammil. Yes, Muzammil.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
So today we have with us our next panelist, Mr. Balaji Sarangan. Mr. Balaji is a senior retail leader with over 22 years of experience in retail operations, merchandising, architecture, transformation programs, and has experience across multiple technology platforms and hybrid cloud environment. He has deep leadership experience in standing up retail operations and IT capabilities in medium to large global companies. He has built and led high-performing operations, IT strategy, architecture, and technology teams for multiple companies and has deep experience in coaching and mentoring high-performing individuals. His experiences encompasses business and IT strategy roadmap alignment, leading large-scale transformation capabilities while working with CXO-level executives to enable delivery of business outcomes through technology and innovation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Muzammil, and thanks to all the audience as well as the panelists. I'm sure that all the panelists over here are extremely well qualified, and I'm happy to share the guys with them. So I'm not going to take you through the normal route of what are the different careers available and then career prospects and all these things. I'm just trying to take my example and then I'm trying to take you through that. And you don't need to worry too much how much you are grasping it or not grasping it, because all of us have gone through the same phase. And I would say that the students over here are much more gifted actually, so that they are getting an early exposure, and which was quite difficult at that point of time when we were finishing out our MBAs. So let me try to put something, and host has disabled the participant screen sharing. Is that?
Muzammil, please make him co-host. Ramya, please.
Yes, ma'am. Just a second.
So you're the co-host now. You can start sharing the screens.
Thank you. And let me try to share the journey. Right. So can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Okay, good. Right. So I'm just trying to take the analogy, and whether it works or not, but most of the time it can work. So after the MBA, I mean, currently what you guys are currently in the crossroads, we were in the same crossroads. One is what next, and then where life is going to take us through, and then how can we set up our career, and then whether the learnings, whatever we had it in our MBA, is it going to help us, or how is it going to take us through? So it was a bit of a challenge, and at that point of time, I would rather say that we were more of a clean slate, and do not bother that if you have not made up any decision that what you want to be or where you want to be, don't worry about it. It's not, it's never too late. So you can always think about it, and then it's not like if you have chosen one path and then you no need to stick to that path, and then you can always change that path. And then the next 20 years is going to be the prime period for you guys. So now I joined as a management graduate in Bata India Limited. So I was thinking more of like, okay, fine, we are an MBA graduate, and then it's going to be a high flying career, and then everything is going to come to our plates, and then we are going to succeed, and then all these things completely shattered. The day one I joined the job, I joined as a shop assistant in KG Road, Bata India Limited store. So the first job, what I've been given, so I was thinking that, oh, I've done operations research, and then I've done management thinking, I've done organizational behavior, everything was there. Then I was given a piece of loincloth, asked me to clean the shoes. So now that was the first, because it was a part of the management graduate training. So that was the time actually I realized that I don't know anything. So now you need to understand that the job, whatever you're going to do, that you need to start understanding how it is going to help you. And then you never know that whatever job you're doing, it's going to help you back in your career. Though it might be immediately giving you the returns, or it's going to give you the returns at a later point of time. So now management graduate, joined in Bata. It's a 2-year-long program. I need to work as a shop assistant, cashier in a retail shop, then act as a assistant manager in the storeroom, and then work as a store manager, then moved to Calcutta, worked in a factory to manufacture the shoes, and then back into Kerala as a group of stores. I was managing it. So that's, if you look at it, whatever you have studied over in your MBA or in your earlier degrees, and then at that point of time, I have no inclination towards IT. But now when I'm seeing that, the topic what has been given is the career opportunities in IT. So now I don't separate it out, IT as a separate function. So it's an integrated function in all your things. So there is no separate function called IT. So nowadays, everything is integrated into an IT, and then without IT, nothing is moving out over here. So now, at that point of time, it was manual. The entire operations were manual. So I have to handle the finance that's going to be in manual. The billing machines were manual. And then now I'll try to take it from there to currently where we are. So when I'm going to finish it out, I will put a small video and then where we have moved from a manual billing or receipt printing to currently where we are working on. So at that point of time, it was more of like a domain experience, try to understand how the store operation works. At that point of time, I don't even know that how it is going to help me in future. So now the next ideal career when I moved out after 5 years was the operations manager in Globus Retail. So it's one of the Raheja group. And then I was an operations manager in Chennai. So looking after the mall management. So it's a bigger mall in Chennai, in T Nagar. So then understood because it was not new for me. So now, and it's basically the same kind of retail operations. So now at that point of time, the systems were a little sophisticated. So from a manual operations to a JDA, things were introduced over there. So merchandising management system was there. And it was quite a surprise, stock taking and everything were done completely. And then how they were doing it. And then financial systems were there, suit was there. So it was an interesting thing over there. Even at that point of time, that had thinking that whether I can choose my career to continue to work on retail operations or I can move to an IT. So now at that point of time, I took a little bit of a risk, resigned the job and studied SAP. So now that was, I would say that is an upskill point number one. So till that point of time, it's all about the on-the-job trainings and all these things. So now once you moved into SAP, so that's more of like you have a functional experience and then try to understand that how the functional experience are being utilized in an IT way. So it was more of an eye opener for me. So then immediately I joined Satyam. And though the job was like more of an SAP consultant, it is like more of a functional consultant trying to understand what is the business requirement and translate it into IT way. So now I didn't get satisfied with that. So I could have continued with my SAP and then, but more of thinking was like how I'm planning to utilize my retail career. So then took a break at that point of time, not even a break actually, along with the job. So thought that it's going to help us something to move up the ladder. So now let's think about a project management. So what are the different courses offered in project management? So at that point of time, PMI was quite hot over there. So then I thought, let me try to do that PMI. So get myself upskilled on that. So now I didn't continue with the SAP, stopped working on SAP, then moved into a product-based organization, what Ramki was saying that earlier. So it was more of like, you can start understanding the real product development and that reaches the customer. And you can always see that how these things are being put on to use. So moved to Tesco India and still I am with Tesco. And at that point of time in Tesco, there was a revolutionary change because they were spread across multiple countries and there was not any single system or single process is there, but there is not a single system. To get the global consolidation, it was entirely difficult at that point of time. So now I will put a break here and then I will try to take you till this point of time. What were the main things which was helping me to move in the different jobs, what I was handling it. So you'll be surprised that whether my SAP or this is going to help, nothing. You will see that these are all the key things which has helped me. One is Excel. And the next one is PowerPoint. And the third one is Word. And fourth one is Visio and MS Project. So if you look at it, actually, the key things are these. So you need to be well versed. These are all the basic things which you need to be completely aware of it. I'm sure that you are using that in your day-to-day life, but you get yourself upskilled on these basic things. Regardless of whether you're upskilling on a specific domain or not, these things are going to help you a lot. So have a note of it. Excel is going to be the super powerful. It was there for the last 25, 30 years, and that's still being in use. And that's the base for it. And PowerPoint is more of like how effectively you are communicating and using a PowerPoint tool. And that's, I'll tell you that these two are the key things in your life, that how you are reflecting what your thoughts in a rightful audience to the rightful audience, and you will have a different stakeholders, and you need to see that how well you are communicating your thoughts. So these things are the key things, and over a period of time, then you will understand it, that how the different reporting tools are going to help you. So for example, Power BI, and that's more of like, it's a licensed software, but that the base is the Excel. And using the Excel, instead of doing so many manual things, you can put the reports in a much required way. So now you can understand that overall, as a management graduate, be in IT domain or be in IT function or whatever it is, your main job is, are you in a position to take decision, and the decision what you are taking should be a data-driven decision. And for having the data-driven decision, you will not be put on to the job of immediately deciding what you are going to do in a strategy or anything. But here, this is all the things which are going to aid you in making your decision making skills much better. So these things, you nowadays, because of cloud, which I'll talk about it a little later, you have innumerable data. But what you are going to do with the data is important. So now taking the data and analyze the data and put it into a point that how these data is going to be useful for the business or useful for anyone else to take a qualitative decision. So these are all the basic tools which you please keep remember that you should upskill yourself on these basic tools in your day-to-day life, right? Now going back into the upskilling portion of it now. Tesco India, so now business analyst, then I moved to Tesco Turkey, Japan, and China. So put together, I spent around 8 years in these countries. So what's going to help keenly over there is, I mean, one is that you will understand that how the cross-cultural environment is going to work. And second thing is, you are working on a different country and you are trying to put some process in place, which they are already having a process in place, and how you are going to convince them to start following the new process. So now you will understand that whatever you are reading through in your MBA program, the key thing is the change management. So now you have to get understanding that how to put into practice. So change management, you will always say that change is permanent, all these things we will say. But when you are going to put into practice, even a minor change in the retail world, for example, moving a printer from one location of your cashier desk to another desk to another little bit, moving it away, it's a major change in the retail organization. And that need to go through multiple approvals. So that's where change management is very important. And because once you are going to do this plan in practice, which means that 3,000 stores are going to have a changed location, and 3,000 into at least take around 20 tills, somewhere around 60,000 or more than that number of tills are going to be changed location. So that's where change management is very key in that. So cross-cultural change management are the key things which you will be going through. So now at that point of time, still I was not a full IT person. So I was more of like putting the practices that I was a face in between the pure IT to the business team. So it's a more of like a business analyst job. So now at that point of time, I had a shift in my career stating that, can you start managing the data center? To bet you, I don't know anything about servers. I don't know anything about storage. I don't know anything about the processes. So now that was the biggest challenge for me. So then if that is the case, then I need to get myself upskilled. So the whole program at that point of time, it is like 2016, 2017. The whole world is more moving towards the cloud. So the decision of cloud moving for a larger organization will have a lot of knock-on impacts. For example, you are going to have a big data centers. You are already having a big data centers, 3 or 4 data centers. And what you're going to do with the data centers? And the cost of maintaining a data center is very high. So now when you're going to introduce, but being a traditional data center, it's like very expensive and you do not have any automated things, but nowadays cloud is coming. So what should we do? So then the strategy for moving towards a hybrid cloud environment, which is nothing but you use the public cloud and you use your own private cloud in your data center and reduce the data center cost so that it's a kind of a hybrid environment which you will be given. So as a long-term strategy, we were trying to reduce the data centers. So I was involved in reducing the data center. So which means that you need to decommission quite a lot of systems. So now you have to do that and get yourself upskilled on the hosting space, which is the data center. So now after successfully moving on to the data center space, then the next logical step is how are we going to introduce the cloud environment to the business? So now to do that, you need to have a lot of upskilling. So now I'll take a break here. Let me go back and show you. This is what we were working on. So now you can see that as a company, we know that the public cloud revenue, I mean, it's increasing year on year. So people are more moving towards public cloud. The reason for moving towards the public cloud, which is like Azure, Amazon, AWS, or GCP. So now what is the reason for that is, it is quicker to set up and easier to start operation, and you can start working it out immediately. So now in your traditional data centers, you will not have that kind of a thinking. So now what we were, if you're, it's like more of like buying a server and keeping the server forever, and you have to run that operations if you are in an in-house. But in a cloud environment, you can take the server whenever you need it, and you can switch off the server whenever you don't need it. So it is a cost advantage of it. So that's why you are renting your space in the cloud. So the strategy for renting your space in the cloud cannot start immediately. So you need to close your data centers, and then you need to have a strategy for moving towards the public cloud. And then you need to have a strategy for keeping the public and private cloud in sync. So it's a 6 years operation, and it's a huge operation. So now this is where we were planning for a hosting wise. So now get yourself on hosting, and in between that, there was a concept which has come up over there is your traditional project management is no longer relevant. So that's why because in the traditional project management, what happens is you put up a big plan, and then once you spend a lot of time on planning, and then you will start executing the plan. And if there is any failure, all the months you have put on planning has gone waste. So you have to go back from the initial stage and start working it out. So that's why there was an overall concept of agile things have come up. So now traditional waterfall management has moved from an agile space, which is like you fail fast. You don't need to say that after 1 year I failed. Rather, I would say that in 10 days I have failed. So which means that you have every chance of course correction for you. So that's why the entire world has moved towards the agile ways of working. So which is nothing but the product deliveries, which will happen very fast, and then you will understand it as scrums and all these things, which are all being very fast utilized in the organizations. So in a product-based organization, so that you will see that. So to put you a more clarity in thinking, for example, you are having your website on online website. We in Tesco we have it. So we will give that online website for the customers to start ordering the goods. And then if I need to do a bit of a change in that website, it's all modular based, and I can release it immediately. If there is a failure, I can revert back immediately. So rather than developing the entire package and releasing it once in a 6 months, rather I'm releasing it immediately and seeing that how it is going to perform and function. So the world is changed towards the more of agile based way. So that's why I'm saying it out. In your career planning, you don't need to plan for 10 years or 20 years. You have a broader strategy, but you can always change the course directions how you want to change. So now the hybrid cloud environment, which is like huge. So now you need to get yourself upskilled, and being in the current MBA, you don't need to think that, oh my God, this is going to be too difficult for me to understand how the cloud environment works and all these things. Go through the details. It's not very difficult, and understand that. So there are some foundational courses which are available for you. Use that foundational courses to understand that what is cloud technology, and then how the cloud is being put into practice, and then understand that different terminologies. That's what is being expected for you, because once you are into an organization, they will put you into various training programs. It is better for you to get yourself upskilled on the basic things even before entering into the companies. And now, because of loads of materials which are available for you in online, so don't get afraid to understand it. And definitely your work experience are going to help you out. But as an initial thing, start understanding by reading a lot of materials. So now that's the overall journey I have tried to put into place, so that you can understand that never stop upskilling yourself. And it is not the end of the game that once you are going to come out, you have studied everything and you are going to be now a best available person in the market and you are going to be recruited immediately. Don't worry about that. Whatever the job you're doing, it's going to be helping you out in terms of developing your domain knowledge. And the company will advise you, train you on the specific needs. But it's up to you to understand the overall course, how it is going on. And you can always pick up that for your development. So now, 4 years before, we were looking at it like really amazed to see that there is a product called Amazon Go. And it's in a store. You really don't need to go and wait in the queue to buy the product. World has changed. And especially in this COVID scenario, it's quite a contactless is the key for us now. So now we are trying to understand that how are we going to avoid the contacts in our retail stores. Now I am currently in the self-service checkout program, which means that you will not have any cashiers. It's an automatic self-service checkout. And we are trying various options in that and see that how we are enabling the customer self-service checkout or experience, customer buying experience smoother, so that there will not be any kind of hassles while they are shopping. So be it online, be it offline, or be it omni-channel. So that's what we are exactly doing it now. So I will try to put you I'll try to put you a smaller video to understand it, how we are going through it. Can you still see the screen, isn't it?
Yes, sir. We are able to.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
PPT is visible. No, PPT is visible, Balaji.
Is it the PPT is visible?
PPT is
Yes.
still visible. Yeah.
1 second. 1 second. I'll try to share and share screen. And now you could see the YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, we could see.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm just putting it out now.
If you could walk and just go. What if we could door so you would never have to wait? No lines, no checkouts, no Amazon Go app to start shopping. Whatever you like. Is automatically added to your virtual cart. You will update your virtual cart automatically. So, how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Got everything you want? You can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual card and then charges you Amazon. No lines, no checkout. Seriously.
So what you have seen over here, we were thinking that it may not come into reality. And because of the COVID, all the 5 years we were planning to do it in 2025, and everything has been advanced now. So now, because of the contactless programs, I've taken a bigger priority. And this is, I'm telling you, in next 6 to 1 year, every retailer is going to come out with this. And I am involved in this trial now. So this is what about the technology advancement currently, and you have innumerable opportunities. So open your eyes and learn towards that. Thank you. And any questions
Thank
you
you,
can
sir.
ask.
Thank you, Nizam. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. We do have some questions. There's a question for Mr. Manish. Sir, you have been an entrepreneur apart from being in several key roles. Having co-founded 2 startups, how would you describe your experience with the growth of technology in startups and big companies like Falabella? Can startups compete at same level? If not, what are the key differences?
Sure. Thanks, Muzammil. I think very interesting discussions, right? And I think at the core of all the discussions, right? You know what's the core? The core is what Balaji just said. You cannot separate technology with business today. Technology is business, right? At one point of time, there was a separate tech team, separate business teams. Today, we look at technology at the core. We use this word in all retailers, especially. Technology is the core. Retail is what? Retail is technology. Retail is not buying, and retail is technology, right? So if we see this, right, and look at, and I'm trying to answer your question with this, because all the retailers you see, in old formats are the traditional big elephants, while some of the digital native companies we typically shop today, be it Amazon, be it Flipkart in India, and a lot of on-demand delivery apps are a native digital company, right? Who were startups, right? So we have entrepreneurs, startup companies with a sense of a different culture versus traditional retailers like Falabella, and I know Tesco is on the similarly. We are elephants who are trying to change. And when Balaji said that, it takes time and approvals, right? There is a bureaucracy involved. There's a change management involved. And today, one skill which is most highly appreciated in terms of skill is, are you a change agent, right? And that's the biggest difference between these, I will say, elephants and startups. But what is technology given? Technology has empowered anyone in this room can develop a piece of a problem solution. That's the empowerment technology has given, and fight against a large corporate. That I have designed this, I have solved this problem for you. Either you sell it to large corporation or you enable. Why large companies, I can say Falabella, Tesco, Targets, you all have a startup accelerator programs today. Why is that? The reason is that startups can solve certain problems which large corporations will not be able to, while large corporations will embrace them, right? And that's the difference. So I will say there is a space for both. Today, no retailer or no even banking or large companies is fearing for a competition from their peers. They're fearing from a competition that one startup will come today, which is a digital native company, and will fight for the battle. Today, same thing happened in a credit, right? Today, instead of banks, you ask for a credit from so many small different companies and who are just apps based, right? Same thing is happening in a retail space, right? Every industry vertical, it's the same story, right? And that's why the startups and these large enterprises are serving their own purpose. They have their own place, but startups are not going to die. The success rate might be 2%, 3%, but the key is that they're going to evolve as the pace of technology is accelerating. They're going to accelerate more. Okay, so that's the my thought process on this.
Muzammil?
Thank you, sir. So we have our next question to Mr. Balaji. Cloud technology has transformed the ways companies deliver services in recent times. The term success can thus be attributed to how fast they are able to adopt cloud technology in their business ecosystem. Sir, can you tell us how bigger is still the potential of cloud technology to transform growth of the companies?
Right. I mean, it's a valid question. So now, transform the growth. So now, look at it in this way. We can take it out our organization. So we were traditionally like, since I was in the infra team. So if there is a new application by any team, if they want to put on to a server, so the lead time was like somewhere between 12 to 18 weeks, because we need to buy a server and we need to install the server. And then the application team, then there is a bigger elephant in the room. I would say that it is a networking. So the networking is one of the major blockers. So now it was like to test even an application to prove that whether it is working or not, and to put into practice, it was taking around 1 to 2 years. And thanks to the cloud, without cloud, we wouldn't have succeeded microservices. And that was one of the key things that every meetings when we go into sitting with for us, the clients or the business teams, and then various other technology teams, and they'll be literally scolding us that infrastructure is pulling us down in terms of how we wanted to experiment on network and security. So now the cloud, without cloud, I mean, thanks to our earlier CTO, who was Edmonds, who has come from a non-traditional retail organization. He was from a quite online retail firm. He has come in, and then he has transformed the need for having a cloud technology. And then that journey was not quite easy. Actually, it took us 3 years time. So which means that we need to have the participation of cloud, and whether is it cheaper for us to create our own cloud or to go with the public cloud. So he took a very conscious decision that let us go with the public cloud first and keep ourselves equipped towards that. And then by the end of the second year, we should have a development for our own cloud. So now what is cloud, which you will be continuously thinking about it is automation, making your servers, making your computing power, making your storage, and making your networking. Give the flexibility for the teams to do whatever they like and without compromising the security. So this is what is the cloud does it. So you are sharing someone's space, computing power, storage, and everything. So now if some team wanted to perform an application as a proof of concept and they wanted to do that, now they can do that same day by spinning out a server, put the application and see that whether it's put into practice, whether it is working or not, and they can make a decision immediately. So this has taken us an huge growth in terms of the online. If that strategy is not followed 3 years before, we would have been literally in a bad shape during this COVID times. So it is not for the growth, I would say, it is for the basic sustainability. Cloud is important. Thank you.
I'll just add on one thing which Balaji said, because the statement I made that anyone in this room can today do an innovation, and that's only because of cloud. Otherwise, you could not have done it. I just want to kind of, and that's the empowerment cloud gives to everyone in this room.
Thank you, Mr. Balaji and Mr. Manish. Our next question is to Mr. Santosh. Sir, over the years, you have been actively involved in building long-term relationships among various channel partners across different parts of the world. Can you iterate what are the various cultural differences which you have faced and which is very important for our students to understand?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I think when you refer to culture, I think you're referring to the work culture, basically. So if you look at the markets, for example, let me take an Indian example. If you look at the market in IT market in Chennai, it is the overall market is primarily manufacturing based. There are some amount of IT ATS companies available. If you look at Bangalore, almost 80 to 90% are IT ATS companies, and most of them headquartered in US or UK or Europe. Okay, so the decisions are taken there. So the process is being done in Bangalore. If you look at Mumbai, it's primarily a BFSI market. So the culture or the the way the customers and partners react depends on the market that they are addressing. Okay, if the market, for example, if he is addressing a manufacturing segment, manufacturing normally plans the process well in ahead. This year, I want whatever they want to do, they plan at the last quarter of the earlier year, which means they have the sufficient time. They have multiple discussions. They go in a much more structured way of adopting new technologies. So you have the time. So the partner has the time. So it's a kind of a structured process. So as a channel manager or as a sales manager, you need to travel with the partner, with the customer, and take them along to the step-by-step process, which culminate into the deal. Whereas in IT/ITES segment like Bangalore, the decisions are taken already there. So the team available in the local city in Bangalore, they want to understand how the technology works. They say this is the technology that's been identified. We want to understand how that works. Show us the proof of concept. So there, the partner also has to play a role of a technical evangelist. He also has to show how the technology works. So from a channel manager or a sales manager representing a vendor like a Cisco or a Citrix, which I was earlier part of, so I need to enable the vendor and partner with them and show the customer how the technology works, what are the advantages of the new technology, how this is going to go forward in the near future. Same in Mumbai, if you take, the time is very less. There, a lot of opportunities are there, both for the vendor, both for the partners. Multiple, they are at a single point in time, they are handling multiple opportunity because the market size is huge. There, the turnover and time is very, very less. So you need to move very fast, be very specific, very crisp in answering their queries and giving the information that they need. So that is how you need to adapt. So primarily, as a channel manager or a sales manager, or even for a partner, it is the how you adapt very well, how you equip yourself to address the customer needs is what determines your culture, if you can term that word.
Thank you, sir. We have a question for Mr. Manish now. So, building teams is one aspect that is very important. You have been involved in playing transformational roles in building teams across startups and various organizations. The challenge for startups and MNCs in building teams is completely different. Would you like to address it, sir?
Sorry, sorry. So thanks. A nice question, actually. You know, building teams is a foundation to any organization, right? It's a building block. If you don't have a right talent in place, be it a startup or be it a large organization, you're doomed to be failure, right? So again, when you say right talent, talent doesn't mean that he's the top-notch person in that area. Talent means what fits into your need in terms of a context, in terms of a culture. I think that's why we always say talent fitment. And that's one message I want to leave with every student, that if you're not selected on certain organization, it's not because you're not the best or you're not, it's about the talent fitment. And I think that is one thing we all need to kind of learn in that process. Now, when you say building teams, there are fundamental blocks remain same, be it a larger organization or a startup, right? What's your vision in terms of what are you actually hiring for in terms of vision? What's the dream you're creating in the person's mind, right? Those fundamental aspects remain same. The challenge becomes in terms of brand, right? A lot of organizations come with a brand and that attracts people, while startups takes time to create that brand, or even a large organization when enter into a new geography takes time to create a brand, right? Those kind of challenges are there. If these fundamental problems would not have been there, money would have bought everything, but that's not the case, right? It's not that you pay any amount of money and you can get talent, because talent is about the conviction, what you can nurture into it. Another thing which is fundamentally shifting because of a new normal everyone talked about is that today anyone can work from anywhere, which means for talent, it's more opportunities, but for hiring companies, be it a startup or it's becoming a challenge, because a startup in one part of the world can hire a talent in any other part of the globe, right? So in one way, it's created a lot of opportunities for every person in the world, but the hiring and the building talent has become equally challenging. And today, as we said, technology is what is business. That means the technology demand in every area is very high, right? So don't think about startup versus large org. Think about where your aspiration in terms of learning and the growth can be fulfilled and nurtured. And because that will lead you to the whole story of what even Balaji talked about in terms of agile, right? Because you have to, even the word is moving towards agile for a reason, because there's always a feedback loop into it, right? There's always a feedback loop into it. And that's what is for us as well, that we try, but don't look at it as in your career as a short term in an organization. And that is one thing people try to switch every 1 year, that, hey, but that's because you feel you're bored. But try to really reflect back and see what you want. I've spent many years in one organization. Same organization has given me growth in multiple dimensions. And that's what is the learning you can get. So building talent, in my mind, fundamentally is about the aspiration and the conviction of an idea, what person can do. Don't think about role. People go, I need a 10-liner role. Role is what you make out of that role. Role is not what is defined. If you go with that definition of role, you won't succeed. It's not a 10 to 5 jobs anymore, saying that you have to do this standard operating procedure of 5 lines. It's about saying, hey, you need to solve this problem. You create a role out of it. And that's what the word is moving towards. And that's one of the message I want to kind of leave with.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is to Mr. Balaji. The success of any company is based on its talent acquisition and retention. Mentoring plays a very key role, vital role in the process. Can you brief us on the processes involved and how transformational capabilities are inculcated?
I mean, in continuation with Mr. Agarwal, what he was saying actually. So mentoring is a key thing. I mean, so one thing is you try to understand it, that if you are moving into a next role, so you will have ideally a mentor will be assigned to you. And the mentor, what he will take you through the process of how he has handled the situation, and that is reflecting the current company's values. So now that's what is the key thing in terms of every other aspect. But there are multiple things which are involved. One thing is on the job, if you need to have some new technologies coming, then how you are going to get yourself upskilled. That will be an internal training forums which will be there. And on a professional level, if you are giving it out like company values and missions, and then how you have to do it out, the decision makings, and then all these things are a different plan together. So now in an organization, if you have been chosen to a role, it's more of like what Mr. Agarwal's thinking was saying, that it is the fitment of your attitude only, they will see that. Rather than, because if you are in an organization, so they don't expect you to know everything, because every alternative day there will be a new product will be coming, new technology will be coming, but it is not that you should be knowing everything. So it is more of like how you fit into that particular role. And then the training needs will be calculated. So nobody is expecting you to perform it next immediately when you're into that role. So there will be a constant mentoring process will be there, and constant upskilling process will be there in the company. So this is not something like an one-time process which is there. So as a part of your organization, so in our organization, how we have decided is 80% of your time is spent on your projects, and rest 20% of your time is spent on upskilling yourself, mentoring, giving to others. All these things are inbuilt into the program, so that you don't need to think that is a separate process. It's a continuous process. And it's more of like how you fit into the organization, into that specific role, into that one. So what ultimately requires is, I need to get what I wanted from this person or from this role. So even when you are going to, I mean, we play outside of company. Actually, we play cricket over here. So there are people like high maintenance guys will be there, which means that they will do it. They are highly talented. They know everything, but to maintain them, it is extremely difficult for you. So rather keeping them and getting things done, and instead you develop someone who can fit into the role, even though the productivity is not 100%, but still you can get the things done. So I would prefer to have a people who are less maintenance guys rather than a high maintenance guys. So whenever your attitude is not going to be the right thing, so that's going to be an issue. So mentoring and getting the talent upskilled, all these things, do not think as a separate thing. It is a part of your continuous job.
Thank you, sir. My next question is to Mr. Santosh. Sir, what is the very important trait you think a student should have working in a role that has multiple responsibilities, where multiple diverse teams are involved?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll take the lead from what Mr. Balaji and Mr. Manish said. See, primarily one thing is very true. However learned you are, however you keep continuing your upskills, you will not know everything, right? And the second is teamwork. Teamwork is really important. So what we need is, it's a simple mantra, that is collaborate and leverage. That is the thing which the student has to follow. If he gets into a multidimensional role, or if he gets into a role which needs to involve multiple teams, okay, he needs to understand that we need to collaborate. Okay, in the sense, from your point of view, you know what is to be done. You have a particular job to do, and you need the other team to do it. So also look at what is in it for him, right? So you collaborate with them, explain to him the advantages, explain to him the benefits that they are going to get, collaborate with the team, and leverage their skill sets, leverage their knowledge. That will make your life and job easier, and that will also help you grow in an organization. The moment they see you as a very collaborative and very a guy who can leverage other skill set, then there is a leader who is in the making. That's what the management will think.
Thank you, sir. The session is now open for students to ask the questions. We have one question from one of our students called Shreyas. Shreyas, can you please unmute yourself and ask the question?
Yeah. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. So my question is to Mr. Balaji. So what would you suggest about taking major subjects in IT, subjects as IT and BA, that is business analytics in MBA? Is it related, and what are the extra skills that has to be learned to be employable?
So I'm not sure of the subjects what you are having it, but nowadays, I mean, subjects are not relevant, I would say that actually, because you don't need to worry about it. One thing is, as Mr. Agarwal has said earlier, whatever the subjects or whatever you're going to study, nobody is going to ask you the questions from that subject. It's more of like a fitting into that profile, whether you are ready in terms of the attitude and you have the basic understanding of how to perform a project or whatever it is. So you should not be really worried about the subjects what you have studied. For example, I can take my example. I have studied BSc chemistry, right? And what the job I am doing is on the cloud technology. So it doesn't mean anything actually. It helps you to have the discipline of learning and discipline of putting up the things at that point of time. So every organization is going to coach you to the needs what they need for. So it is all about your attitude, and which I've told you, you need to have the basic skills like what I've told you, Excel, PowerPoint.
Ravi, have a control over audio. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
Yes,
you
sir.
should have the basic things to communicate what your thought process is. So beyond that, if you want to learn anything, understand the concepts, whatever is coming. So now if you look at it, the major concepts, what are going to come in or it's already there is the cybersecurity. And that's one of the key things, because everything is going online. And then equally, there are so many attacks. Even last week also, we had a still WannaCry attack on one of our stores. So that's continuous. Cyber security is the key thing, which you can invest your time. And then the next one is the kind of Bitcoins and all these things, the ledgers and all these things are also the key. And you need to have a great awareness of that. And then plus the cloud technology. So do not bother anything about what the subject you study. It is more about your attitude in shaping up how you are ready for it.
Shreyas, can I add to the question?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah. So Shreyas, your question is primarily on business analytics, which is a very upcoming field, right? The way you have to think of, and if you're interested in that area, you should really look at learning in depth in that. But business analytics has three parts typically, right? One is how do you analyze, right? Either through gathering a data, right? So how do you gather a data? How do you create a data platform? And that's where some of the languages you talked about can help. Second is the algorithms, right? You have to make a meaning out of that data, right? Which is algorithms and all that AI, ML. And third is how do you represent visually and the whole visualization part of that, right? Finally, because to make a meaning out of that, right? So if you're interested in business analytics, you have to learn these three aspects, and based on your interest area, then you have to focus on the technologies associated with it, because each of these three layers, what I talked about, has a different technologies associated with it. So you can definitely learn about that and get awareness about these things. But this is definitely a big upcoming area.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We are running out of time. So we have our last panelist, Mr. Mansoor, who's an alumni of the Department of Management Studies. Mansoor is currently working as a CBO consultant in a service-based industry. So Mansoor, would you like to share your experiences in MBA?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time, even for all of these students. I very much appreciate the amount of time you're spending on conversation with the quality audience. I'm very much impressed by the way Mr. Balaji, Manish, and everyone, they shared their experiences. It was really fantastic. The experience, whatever they have gone through, the things, whatever they have faced in their lives, the way they are sharing, it was just awesome. This message is for my students. Students have completed the MBA from a college. 2017, I completed. I did engineering before in electronics and communication. Then later, I thought I would go for sabbatical leave. Luckily, in my organization, they gave me approval for 1 year. And later, Hemlata ma'am very much helped me in completing my course. Yeah, Muzammil, I'm audible?
Yes, yeah. Yes, you are audible,
Hello?
Mansoor. Mansoor,
Yes,
you are
yes,
audible.
Mansoor, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. So I'm very much thankful to Hemlata ma'am, the way she guided me, making sure I complete my studies on time. So luckily, I got it done. Then later, what happened was in the beginning of 4th semester, we had a lot of companies. We got into like weekly minimum 1 or 2 interviews we are getting, and I was selected into Deloitte KM profile, knowledge management. There were 2 options available. One was taxation, it was for finance students, and the other one was for knowledge management profile, KM profile. It was purely for HR and marketing students. And luckily I got selected there. And the bad thing was I had to go to Hyderabad. They said like, we don't have any vacancy in Bangalore. You will have to wait minimum for 2 years. So I didn't accept the joining letter. So later I got into Infosys. And currently I'm working on a Fiori application. As Muzammil said, it's basically CBO stuff. We are customizing business objects, and it involves a lot of technical stuff. And luckily, from my past experience, I have learned few things, and I'm able to do good. And I would like to share my experience. So what I expect you guys is all the students, especially, to come out of your comfort zone first. Come out of your comfort zone, then later you will realize what exactly the world is. There will be n number of challenges thrown at you. Never take it like a burden. Just face it and never lose confidence, self-confidence, whatever you have. Just feel you are doing it right. But make sure whatever is happening on social media, things like that, it will not impact you much, because social media is very much disturbing, as I have felt in my life. So just be careful whatever you're doing. Take challenges at a time. Do SWOT analysis regularly. Work on your weakness and threats. Make sure like you have like something like writing in your book every day. If not every day, at least in a week, try to jot down whatever weaknesses you are having. Work on it. Take some time, but never give up. So one or the other way you will try to find it out. Like you may feel difficulty, but slowly you will develop that habit, how to overcome that particular weakness, whatever you are having. Because in tomorrow's world, like if you start working, people believe only in your attitude. That is the most important thing. How good you are at handling things. how diplomatic you are basically, because they expect like whatever like income you're getting, they will suck you everything. Like they will make sure you are doing smart work as well as hard work. So at some stage in your life, you will realize like you will have to come out of it. Like you will get rid of work. That is the only problem with private organizations. So do not stick to any single company. Whenever you are getting offer, work for 2 or 3 years, understand the organization, whatever details are there, everything inside, realize it, whatever is happening. Then at the right point of time, you switch to other company. Because if you capture, like if you identify any weakness, it will be very difficult for you in future. Just try to make sure you work on it and never give up. Have self-confidence. Self-confidence is very important, and your attitude has to be very positive, and keep comparing yourself in a different manner with like with other.
Yes, Mansoor. I think it's time up. All guests are leaving.
Yes,
we have I'll again invite you for interaction. Thank you very much, Mansoor, for the nostalgic experience with our department, because our Manish Agarwal waiting from almost 120 to till now. Great time he has given to us. Thank you very much, Mr. Manish Agarwal. Your valuable time and your insights. It's really interesting for us. Even for me, I'm learning from each and every one of you. Thank you very much from my side, and also from the Department of Management Studies, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering. And thank you very much, Mr. Balaji Sarangan, for your valuable time. Though I think I'll wake you up a little early to make for our presentations, and really thankful to you. Your lovely presentations, and thank you very much, Mr. Santosh, for your valuable time. I think you have given the complete overview. Excellent presentation. Mansoor, my dear alumni, you are always in touch with our Department of Management Studies.
Yes,
we have a strong report. Hope we all have a strong network and keep in touch with every moment of our life. Thank you, each and every one of you, all the audience, all the faculty member, and my dear faculty, coordinator, and everyone. My special thanks to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Principal Rawat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Balaji. Thank you, See you then. Thank you, Manish.